Picture a small Canadian 5-cent coin quietly traveling through millions of hands while carrying more than a century of national history. The 2008 Canadian 5-cent coin, featuring Queen Elizabeth II with the inscription, Elizabeth II DG Regina, on the obverse, represents a modern chapter in one of Canada's longest-running coin series. The reverse proudly displays the iconic beaver, a symbol that has defined the Canadian nickel since 1937. Although its face value is only 5 cents, the coin connects collectors to Canada's heritage, wildlife, and minting traditions. Unlike many people assume, the phrase DG Regina is an abbreviation of the Latin words Dei Gratia Regina, meaning by the grace of God, Queen. This royal inscription has appeared on Canadian coins for generations and reflects the country's constitutional monarchy. Rather than being decorative text, it represents an unbroken link between Canada's coinage and centuries of British and Canadian royal history. The portrait of Queen Elizabeth II found on the 2008 issue was designed by Canadian artist Susanna Blunt. Introduced in 2003, it was the first definitive Canadian coin portrait of the Queen without a crown. The design emphasized a natural and contemporary appearance, marking an artistic departure from earlier royal portraits and becoming one of the most recognizable images on modern Canadian circulating coinage. The famous beaver on the reverse was originally created by artist George Edward Kruger Gray in 1937. While many countries regularly replace coin designs, Canada has preserved this classic beaver image for decades because it reflects the nation's identity, natural resources, and early fur trading history. Its longevity has made it one of the most enduring reverse designs in world coinage. By 2008, Canada's 5-cent coin was no longer made from the same metal used in earlier decades. Earlier Canadian nickels were struck in nearly pure nickel, but changing metal prices eventually led the Royal Canadian Mint to adopt multi-ply, plated steel technology. The 2008 circulation issue is composed of plated steel rather than silver or solid nickel. This change reduced production costs while maintaining the coin's familiar appearance. A common misconception is that 2008 Canadian 5-cent coins are silver. In reality, standard circulation examples are not silver. They were struck using plated steel, and their magnetic properties distinguish them from older nickel compositions. If someone encounters a coin that appears unusual in color or composition, professional authentication is necessary before assuming it is a rare mint variety. The Royal Canadian Mint has earned an international reputation for advanced minting technology and innovation. By the time the 2008 5-cent coin was produced, the Mint had become a global leader in security features, precision manufacturing, and commemorative coin production. Collectors around the world recognize Canadian coins for their consistent quality and artistic craftsmanship. Most 2008 Canadian 5-cent coins entered circulation and remain common today. Their collector value generally depends on condition rather than rarity. Coins showing original mint luster, minimal contact marks, and strong strikes are naturally more desirable than heavily circulated examples. Certified mint state coins often receive greater attention from collectors because they preserve the coin's original appearance. Collectors also search for genuine mint errors among 2008 Canadian nickels. Authenticated off-center strikes, clip planchets, broad strikes, die cracks, strike-through errors, or other production mistakes can be considerably scarcer than ordinary coins. However, any suspected error should be examined by experienced professionals, since post-mint damage can resemble genuine minting errors. The beaver has appeared on Canada's 5-cent coin for generations because it symbolizes determination, hard work, and the country's historic fur trade. During the 17th and 18th centuries, beaver pelts became one of the foundations of Canada's economic development. Every modern 5-cent coin quietly preserves that remarkable chapter of North American history. Although 5 cents may seem insignificant today, the denomination once possessed meaningful purchasing power. Earlier generations used nickels for transportation, newspapers, snacks, and everyday necessities. The 2008 issue reminds collectors that even modern circulation coins can become historical artifacts as economies, prices, and technology continue to evolve. The inscriptions on the coin reflect Canada's bilingual and historical traditions. While a 5-cent coin itself carries English inscriptions, many Canadian coins include both English and French because of the country's official bilingual heritage. This balance between tradition and national identity has become one of the defining characteristics of Canadian coinage. Professional grading organizations evaluate Canadian coins according to strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and eye appeal. Mint state examples graded at the highest levels are much more difficult to locate because even minor contact marks can reduce a coin's grade. For modern coins, exceptional preservation often matters more than age alone. Many collectors build complete date and mint collections of Canadian nickels because the series spans well over a century of changing monarchs, metal compositions, and artistic styles. The 2008 issue occupies an interesting place within that timeline as part of Canada's transition into modern plated steel circulating coinage. The Royal Canadian Mint is respected not only for circulating coins, but also for producing some of the world's most innovative commemorative issues. Its advances in colorized coins, holograms, and high-purity precious metal products have enhanced Canada's reputation among international collectors. The ordinary 2008 nickel belongs to the same mint that created many of these celebrated innovations. In today's collector market, a circulated 2008 Canadian 5-cent coin is usually worth its face value. Uncirculated examples with outstanding preservation may command modest premiums, while genuine, authenticated mint-era coins can be worth considerably more depending on the rarity and nature of the error. Value is determined primarily by condition, certification, and confirmed production characteristics rather than by the date itself. Because the coin is magnetic, many beginning collectors are surprised to discover how dramatically Canadian coin compositions changed during the 20th and 21st centuries. This makes the 2008 5-cent piece an excellent educational example of how national mints adapt to economic realities while preserving familiar designs that the public recognizes. Every surviving 2008 Canadian 5-cent coin has completed its own journey through wallets, cash registers, vending machines, and collections. While most remain ordinary circulation pieces, each one serves as a miniature record of Canada's economic life during the early 21st century. Everyday coins often become tomorrow's historical objects simply because they survive. For collectors, the true attraction of the 2008 Canadian nickel lies in understanding its place within the broader story of Canadian coinage rather than expecting extraordinary rarity. It represents the continuation of a beloved design, the modernization of minting technology, and the enduring presence of Queen Elizabeth II on Canadian currency during her long reign. The 2008 Canadian 5-cent coin demonstrates that history is often preserved in the smallest everyday objects. Its iconic Beaver reverse, modern portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, advanced plated steel composition, and connection to the Royal Canadian Mint make it an important part of Canada's numismatic heritage. Whether discovered in circulation or carefully preserved in a collection, it remains a meaningful reminder that even the most familiar coins can tell remarkable stories when their history is understood.